Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here with your weekly fishing report. So we're going to get started this week with the Upper Bay here, starting off with obviously rockfish. Fish are spread out throughout the area right now. They're not all stacked like, before the closure up in the Patapsco. So you really got to put in some miles out there and work around the edges of pretty much the northern bait part, whether it's Hodges Bar, Hart Miller Island, Pulse Island, or even inside the Patapsco. You're going to be able to find some fish in there. Some of the guys have been actually drifting eels on the northern part of the bay. Most guys still live lining, obviously, around structuring the Patapsco and jigging. So it's more of like pick your choice and kind of stick with one thing for a little while. Try to figure out, what those fish want with the jig colors, depending on your water clarity, but there's plenty of fish spread out throughout the area. Now, more here towards the Annapolis area in Eastern Bay. Plenty of topwater action in the mornings, or anywhere around shoreline structure, whether you're in Eastern Bay, fishing anywhere from any of the islands there, like Hog Island, Tillman Point, etc. Just get there early before the sun comes up. Same thing for the Annapolis area here on the Bay Bridge pilings. There's always plenty of fish there. You just got to move around, try to find them on those pilings. So don't sit for too long on each one of them. And you can also live line, jig, and once again, even early mornings, we're getting reports of people catching fish in shallow, right around Hackett's Point, Mountain Point, and all those areas. So kind of figure out your day, schedule it correctly based on the tides, and you should be able to find some fish out there. Now, guys, fishing from the shoreline around here, you're looking at pretty much fishing anywhere from Sandy Point, Chesapeake, Romacoke, and even Kent Arrows. Most of your bite's going to be in the morning to evenings, mainly fishing cut bait, whether it's, peelers, soft crabs, or even some spot. The fresher the better, obviously. So we got some live spot that you can cut up or even live line from the shoreline. And throw some stuff out there like that. Other than that, in Romacoke and Chesapeake, also use the same baits, or you can actually even catch some small size, keeper size croakers here and there, mainly in the evenings for people fishing Jonas Green and some of those other areas locally here, and some decent sized jumbo spot now. Obviously, perch are always in the mix, and if you're looking for catfish, this is a time of the year where they're going to be moving up a little bit farther north. So like mouth of the Patapsco north is going to get better, or inside the rivers, but not so much right out here in the main bay this time of the year because of the higher salinity levels. Moving south, obviously, you're going to be finding more and more bluefish throughout the area as you move south. So like mouth of Eastern Bay, Poplar Island, Chesapeake Beach, Point Lookout, etc. The more south, the more you have chances of catching actual Spanish and mackerel. Spanish mackerel and blues. So depending on how far you want to push it, the chances are better, especially if you're locally here and you're just trying to stay local. Poplar Island is going to be probably your best bet, or the mouth of Eastern Bay, throwing some Clark spoons or finding some bait pots and sticking around and casting some metals to them. Once again, tide depending, so check out your tides. Moving south, there's a couple fish being caught on the islands, on the Tangier, etc. And in that general area where it's a mix of small puppy drum, speckled trout, and some rockfish mixed in there. Early morning topwater bites hot in those areas, and fishing those edges with some paddle tails are producing some decent sized fish, whether it's trout or actual rockfish. You will have to go through a few rockfish to find some of those trout, but that's pretty much any given area in this lower base section. Reds are not so quite hot. They're kind of really spread out. Obviously, it's more like an evening kind of bite right now, but it doesn't mean that you won't catch them in the mornings too. Channel edges is where you want to focus and scan around there, and most of the time you will find some schools if you put in the time. Fishing in that area too, if you're chunking or drifting eels for cobia, has been kind of hit or miss this time of the year. Usually doesn't really pick up until probably more of the late August, September, when we get some bigger waves of fish up here to push the end of the season. But so far, not too many reports coming from that southern area. You're really going to want to push it farther into Virginia waters to get a few consistent fish. Even travel to like the mouth of the Romacoke, Rappahannock River and whatnot. So check those areas out. Smith Point will be one area to kind of look around, sight fish, or even anchor and chunk. If you're chunking, south side of the middle ground or the dumping grounds, there should be one of those areas where you can focus on. Crabbing, once again, pretty hot right now. Magothy's been good for some of the guys locally here. 5 to 7 foot of water. Early mornings, you could get some nice crabs. So that's it for your fishing report, guys, and you guys have a good one.